Hello, welcome to the weather update. It's about 9 o'clock on September 5th, 2021. And we're going to start off with Hurricane Larry here. And we're going to start off looking at a satellite image of it first because this thing still continues to look extremely impressive on the satellite. Look at that. And again, with that big eye, it has a huge eye. And again, we've said that this eye is about 50 miles across. And that is quite an eye. This is the visible enhanced, enhanced infrared satellite. You clearly see that eyeball continuing to just rebuild itself and strengthen. And let's get to the latest now on Hurricane Larry. It is maintaining its Category 3 status right now. As of 5 p.m., Larry remains a large major hurricane, and it is a large storm, too. Expected to cause dangerous surf and rip currents along the western Atlantic shores later this week. As of 5 p.m., location 20.5 north, 50.6 west, about 830 miles east-northeast of the northern Leeward Islands and about 1,195 miles southeast of Bermuda. Maximum sustained winds are 125 miles an hour, moving northwest at 13 miles an hour. Minimum surface pressure, 955 millibars, or 28.20 inches. That is pretty deep. And Larry is at Category 3. Little changes in strength, though there could be fluctuations. But Larry's expected to remain a major hurricane through the middle of this week. And Larry is also a very large hurricane. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 45 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 175 miles from the center. And the minimum central pressure is 955 millibars, or again, 28.20 inches. That's pretty deep. Let's look at the chart here, and you see, fortunately, now Bermuda's over here. It looks like Bermuda might get into the western firmament, but it looks like it'll recurve before then. But this thing stays out in the ocean, and hopefully that is where it'll stay. But still, it's going to have impacts, even here, because it's going to create a lot of swells. And we're going to have to look at some models at these swells and see what impacts there there will be for us. So let's look at another image of Larry here. This is a satellite image, by the way. It's funny, I have no problem. I get back in this apartment and literally my voice starts. The air in here is just toxic. Yeah, I have the air conditioner on. I have no problems all day, and I come back in here. But anyway, you can see we have a cold front moving through across the area, plenty of clouds. You can see some nice air, though, off to the west of this cold front. That is what we're going to be getting into. If we look at the CONUS view, just show you the CONUS view here. Here you see that front. I'll just give this a 36 frame loop so you get to see. There's the front. Looks like there's a little smoke. We're gonna have to. It looks like that smoke isn't going to be going toward us, but there is a little smoke that looks like it might be heading toward the south, perhaps. And you can see, look at the smoke from those fires there in California, still going. We can look at that too as well. Let's go to that North American view and look at the Pacific Northwest. Pacific Northwest. Where is the Pacific Northwest? Here we go. Look at these fires. Oh, yeah. There's still a lot of smoke coming from them. You can see these fires are still continuing to burn. You have that. Then you have all these other, just disasters all taking place. And you can really see it around this. It really shows up very well. But I also want to look at Larry, of course, on here. And this is Larry. So you get to see it in the visible and the infrared right here. Let me bring this to the center of the screen so you can see this a little more. There it is. Look at that. That is impressive. That is a huge hurricane right there. And again, that eye is like 50 miles wide. We're going to measure it again. Usually, this is the first time I've seen a hurricane with a big eye in the Atlantic. Usually, this happens in the Pacific, but now we're starting to see this in the Atlantic. And that, like I said, that's quite impressive to say. That is really, really impressive. Let's go to the MODIS satellite. We're going to go and take a look at the MODIS high-resolution visible satellite. There's Larry right there. Look at that. And again, if I move this map over to here, you should be able to see. If I put it by the thing right here, if you can see that, 50 miles. Look at how there's the eye right there. 50 miles. Nearly 50 miles. So this is 50 miles right here. That eye is almost 50 miles wide. That is a big eye. I've never seen an eye that big. That is just incredible. Incredible. What a huge storm. And you can see, look at how big it is. I mean, you can clearly see it. And if you look at the continent, you can see a little bit of smoke there. It looks like it's going to drift more toward the south, though. I think we're going to get into this air over here. We'll look at the smoke models, too. Let's go to our current conditions. We'll start to review the month of August as well. And our current conditions first. Why did I do that? So we are in the low 70s. It's a little humid out there. Let's get the dew points on the screen here. You can see dew points in the upper 60s to around 70. You can see drier air off to the north and the west. And generally, highs generally were in the 70s today. Not really... go to the highs here. See, mostly 70s across Long Island. It was a little warmer in Jersey, though, closer to 80 there. Mostly 70s. And we'll go to the precipitation. Actually, I want to go look at the minimum temperature, too, and see if West Hampton was able to radiate last night. Not as much. Only 54 was their low. All right, now let's go to the precipitation. Rainfall. And we'll do... Actually, we could just do latest precipitation. Actually, I could just do that. And I could just take the duration. Yeah, we could do a duration for 24-hour precipitation. So we've gotten a little bit of light rain here. Not too much rain, unfortunately. A little more in parts of Jersey, closer to a quarter of an inch, but not really a lot of rain going on. This is the radar right now. So I see light rain, though there are some slightly brief periods of moderate to possibly heavy rain. You can see where the cold front is. It's approaching from Pennsylvania. So there could be some more rain with these thunderstorms that come into the picture. Let's go look at the latest models here. And again, Larry, really impressive right there. Let's go. We'll first start in our area just to show you what the HRRR is doing with this front. We don't really have enough of the 0Z in, so I'll just have to show you the 23Z HRRR. And you can see it looks like we might get clipped by some more rain early in the morning before it finally moves out, like a little wave along that front that might enhance the rain a little bit. So if we look at the amount of rain that we would get, since it's probably not a lot, but there is a little swath where it could be close to a half an inch perhaps in certain areas of New Jersey, wherever any convection could set up perhaps. But again, I don't think we'd see any flooding rain. But again, everything is so saturated, so we'll just have to be careful of that. Looking at the dew points, and for this, we will have to go and roll this back to the 18Z run so I can show you this cold front that's going to come on through. So you see the dew points remain high, but then the dew points start dropping as we head into tomorrow afternoon from west to east. So start dropping to the 50s in Jersey and then on Long Island later on. And then for Tuesday, we'll have dew points in the 50s. All right, so it'll be a lot more comfortable again with the lower humidity levels. However, it will be warmer. So if we look behind this front, you will see here temperatures are in the 70s. Temperatures are in the upper 70s to around 80 tomorrow at night, dropping back into the 50s. And then for Tuesday, we'll have 70s again. So it'll be pretty comfortable out. Let's go to the GFS now. So we'll show you tomorrow here on the GFS. You can see maybe around 80 degrees, maybe low 80s in Jersey. GFS is a touch warmer, maybe closer to the 80-degree mark. And then Wednesday, you could see an approaching cold front, and we can see some heat that came up, but it's not going to make it up here. You can see pretty hot in the Mid-Atlantic, but that's not going to get here. And then this cold front moves through, and then we drop down again for Saturday and Sunday with nice low humidity as well. Looking at the dew points. Here are your dew points. Let's go look at these dew points. So your dew points are generally tomorrow. Again, the dew points drop in the afternoon. By the afternoon, it should be very nice. Tuesday, low dew points. We start seeing the humidity increase a little bit on Wednesday, and then increase ahead of them. And then another cold front moves for Thursday. And that cold front is what's going to keep Larry away, that trough and that cold front. Very important. Let's go look at the sky cover for our area. And I guess I'll start. The GFS is kind of like low resolution, but you can see a general trend of clearing in the afternoon tomorrow. Tuesday should be a nice clear day, and Wednesday should also feature plenty of sunshine, maybe just a few cirrus clouds. And we start off with clouds on Thursday. We'll have some clouds with that front, and then that front pushes offshore by Friday, though. You may get hung up a little bit with a wave forming, so it might keep some clouds around on Friday, but it may not. And that would be Thursday would be our next chance of rain as well, with that front, which we'll get to. Let's go to the NAM 18Z for sky cover, and you'll see again tomorrow. We start clearing it out by the afternoon. By noon, 1 o'clock, you're going to have mostly sunny skies across the area. Maybe a few patchy clouds, but other than that, mostly sunny. Tuesday, even nicer, so it'll be really nice on Tuesday. Let's now go to the RGEM model for skies, and you'll see it really clears it out really nicely by the afternoon. Very nice. And Tuesday, very nice as well. And Wednesday, we may see a few high clouds, but nothing really terrible. Now, let's go back to Larry. And I'm going to actually take this out. We're going to look at the CONUS view on the GFS. And we'll show you why Larry is going to stay away, thank God. So you can see we have this first high building in here Tuesday, and then that cold front comes through. And that cold front, you can see Larry over here on the right, staying offshore. And that cold front, we have another cold front come through, and then it's a more progressive pattern. You can see cold fronts moving through, and that's very important. That's, again, because we have the jet stream finally coming back into the picture here. And you'll see here that we now have a jet stream that is now developed and is moving into the lower 48 and bringing cold fronts through and troughs through again, which is very important to see. After not seeing it all summer, finally, we're starting to see that. So let's go and take a look at our temperature anomaly for the next week or so. So we're going to just show you the temperature anomalies across the country. So a little bit below normal today. Tomorrow will be a little bit above normal. Tuesday might be slightly above normal. Wednesday, slightly above normal. And then by Thursday into Friday, we start getting close to normal again, with some below normal, but nothing really drastically below normal until we get later into the month. And then we start seeing some really big cool downs. And you'll see some cold fronts come through. Now, as for the west, we have it looks like there finally will be some rain out west, or it's getting close, but California is still very dry. This is the all the way to the end here with the precipitation on the GFS. Fortunately, it's not showing any very heavy precipitation for our area, but California is still dry, which is a problem. They're not seeing those Pacific storms bring. Fall is generally a dry time for California, so their dry season started way earlier and way worse than any other year, and that's why these fires, unfortunately for them, are going to continue. And it's just really a huge disaster going on. Speaking of wildfire smoke, let's go and look at the HRRR smoke. The vertically integrated smoke, and I'm going to the 18Z because that is the longer one. So let me go to that one here, so we can track where this smoke is going and see if we're going to be dealing with it at any time in the next week or so, in the next couple of days or so. So you can see some smoke possibly coming through the area maybe early tomorrow, and then we have clean air, it looks like, into the 7th. So, but you can see, look at that smoke. It looks like that smoke might make it into our area probably by the 8th. If we pause this here, this is so Labor Day and Tuesday look like we're not going to be dealing with any smoke, but look what happens toward the end there when we go to the 49 frame. Can we do that, please? Reverse. All right, it doesn't want to go. Oh, I see, it's playing. All right, here we go. So let me move this here. I'm trying to. You can see that this area of smoke here is making its way. So we may be starting to deal with this on Wednesday, perhaps. we may start dealing with a lot of smoke, perhaps making it out its way into the area on Wednesday, because it sure looks like it's making its way in there, and we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. So let's focus a little more on Larry here. I want to actually go to some of these. Go to the look at the spaghetti models again, and I mean, it's pretty much agreement here that it just recurves out to sea, and it may even miss Bermuda. It could affect parts of the Canadian Maritimes, though. And who knows, maybe the hurricane will actually wind up hitting Canada. And some models take it as strong as a Category 4. So let's take a look at some of this on the models. And for this, we're going to have to change our... We're going to have to change our view here to the, let's see, tropics. I guess we could do Western Atlantic. All right, so here's Larry right here. So we track this along. You see it stays offshore. But it stays pretty strong. And it's a pretty formidable hurricane, as you see there. Very formidable. But it stays out in the middle of the ocean, fortunately. And if we go to the hurricane model, which is, we have some hurricane models here. We've got Larry here. So this is, again, Larry. This is the hurricane model for Larry. And you can see holds on to its strength pretty well. And it just follows the storm. So it really holds on to its strength all the way through next weekend, which is very impressive. And if we look at the wind here, I mean, you can see this wind is going to stay. It looks like toward the end of the period, the wind does weaken a little bit. This is, again, the hurricane model. If we look at the... Could also change this to the GFS hurricane model. All right. This is the GFS hurricane model, which may be a little too weak. All right, but it does keep it offshore. That's the main thing, is it stays offshore, but it will have some impacts. Let's get to those impacts now as far as the coast goes. Go to northeast U.S. and as far as wind goes, we shouldn't see any wind effects from it. This is the wind. Let's see if we can even see it pass by on here. There, you can sort of see it right here in the right-hand corner, but there won't be any wind impacts, but what there could be is surf impacts. So we could look at significant wave height, and you can see some of that elevated surf might make its way to... this is going to have a large area of elevated surf that's actually going to make it all the way to the coast. You can see here, and that is what we've got to worry about. If we look at windy.com, which is another site, and this uses the European model, obviously, but it will also show Larry on here as well. And we'll take a look at this and follow. There's Larry right there. So you see Larry continuing to move. Major hurricane. Maybe the European weakens a little bit as it heads north, but still holding on. It looks like it just misses the Bermuda to the east, the core of it, but they could still have hurricane conditions because it's such a large storm. It's just that Bermuda might miss the eye wall, and then it recurves. Thank God it recurves out, but look at this. And the European still has this thing quite strong, even south of Canada right now. And if you look at wind gusts, oh boy, that might be a little overdone, but if that thing would have hit St. John's could have some major problems in Canada. So this is for next Saturday. So this storm, though, is just incredible. So if you were looking at the European model, you'd see the worst of it stays just away from Hamilton. But this is going to be a very strong hurricane, and it's quite impressive, to say the least. So if we look at the waves here, this is the European here, and show you the effects on the waves here. It will have effects. It will kick up the surf. Look at this. I mean, in the middle of the storm, look at how high some of these waves could be. 50 feet. So if you're a ship, man, you've got to avoid this thing. If you're caught out in it, man, you're going to be in big trouble. But for us, you'll see we'll have some swells. And we're going to start feeling those swells Thursday into Friday. And then they'll dissipate by next Saturday. But you're definitely going to be seeing those swells. You can definitely see that there. 8-foot swells. And like I said, we're going to be seeing that. 8-foot waves. You can also look at the swell map also. I mean, look at this. This is... I don't know what the blue is there, but 37 feet. Oh, my God. That is crazy. You'll see 8-foot swell. So there could be beach erosion, even though the storm is going to be nowhere near us. So that is what's incredible. And again, if this thing were to impact, even it could be a lot worse in Nova Scotia. 13-foot swells, waves 13 feet. And again, I mean, this is insane. You look at the center of this thing. That's incredible. Incredible wave heights. So this is going to be a storm that we are going to have to watch. Thank God it's going out to sea. If this would have hit us directly, this would be catastrophic. So thank God. Hope for that trough. Let's hope that things don't change on the models. Right now they all recurve it out, and that's what should happen. But again, we're not out of the woods until this thing is gone. Until this thing doesn't exist anymore. So that's quite impressive. Let's now go and look at our climate statistics for August. And I think, like I said, I figured this out, this climate thing. So we were looking at the wrong thing. See, not the now data. We don't want the now data. We want the local data. Observed weathers. That's what we want. Observed weather. So what we want is the monthly weather summary. And we will start with islip. And now that I figured it out, it makes sense what they did. It's actually easier to use now. So this is the month of August 2021. All right. So the highest temperature at islip for August was 94. The lowest was 60. The average maximum was 83 degrees. The normal was 81.4. So we were about 1.5 degrees above normal there. Average minimum 68.8. Normal supposed to be 66. Which means our mean was 75.9, and the normal mean is 73.7. So that means that we were actually almost 2 degrees above normal, right? So, yeah, 2.2 degrees above normal. There you go, 2.2 degrees above normal. That is that's quite a warm August. Precipitation. Total 6.63, normal 4.24, obviously well above normal. Let's now go look at Central Park. Oh, I see. I shouldn't do that. All right, I say stay in this window. Let's go look at Central Park now. We're going to look at a lot of these. And again, this is for... All right, let me get the monthly. Why is it giving me September 5th? And not... That's the daily. That's not the monthly weather summary. Let's go. Central Park again. Let's try it again. Here we go. All right. So, highest Central Park was 94. Lowest 63. The average maximum, 83.9. The normal is 83.3, average minimum 71.2, normal 68.9, and so the mean 77.5 degrees, the normal 76.1. So about 1.5 degrees above normal, 1.4 degrees above normal, 5 degrees above 90. Let's look at the precipitation. Total precipitation 10.32 inches. Normal is supposed to be 4.56. So we were 5.76 inches above normal for rainfall. And again, this is for August. That doesn't even include what we just went through. So there you go. That's it. We're done with that. Let's now go and look at the ice situation, which is not good, by the way. Even though they make it sound like it's good, it's not good. All right. So there is a large area of low sea ice concentration north of Alaska that could melt away. So this is what we have right now. All right. So hopefully it won't get any lower than this. But you can see there's a lot of thin ice, and it's definitely well below the mean. All right. However, we are not at the bottom. So we're not at the bottom, but we're still below what we're supposed to be. All right, we're still below this median here, which is this gray area here. We're still there. We're not at 2012 levels, and we won't reach them this year, but it's a big concern. And then the other concern that we have is Greenland. And there was rain in Greenland, by the way. On August 14, 2021, rain was observed at the highest point on the Greenland ice sheet for several hours, and air temperatures remained above freezing for about 9 hours. This was the third time in less than a decade and the latest date in the year on record that the National Science Foundation Summit Station had above freezing temperatures and wet snow. There is no previous report of rainfall at this location, which reaches 3,216 meters or 10,551 feet in elevation. Earlier melt events in the instrumental record occurred in 1995, 2012, and 2019. Prior to those events, melting is inferred from ice cores to have been absent from an event, since an event in the late 1800s. So Greenland has seen a lot of ice melt, and again, this is well above. Look at how far 2021 is above the normal. So this is another sign of what's going on as our climate is changing. The Arctic is warming faster than anywhere else in the world right now. And here's another chart. Here's some more maps here that we can use here. The latest we have is this. So let's look at this. That's not the one I wanted to click. I want to look at this one. Well, it's kind of small. You're not going to be able to see this very well, but you can see where there was melt all around the edges there. All right, so that's a lot of melt. And that ice melt here will raise and is raising the sea levels, and it's also going to affect the ocean sea currents as well. So that's also very concerning. So although we probably won't have a blue ocean event this year, Greenland we still got to worry about, obviously. And again, there's still a lot of thin ice. You look at this again, this area right here, and there's a lot of thin ice. This is very thin. However, we are now in September, and we should be peaking. The minimum should be peaking. I know it sounds kind of contradictory, but we have reached the minimum extent, and then it should start regrowing, hopefully. But again, we see this every year, and this is always a concern that we have. And again, lots of low sea ice concentration. So there may be extent, but the concentration in the depth is very low. And this is another map here that you can look at here. The darker colors are where there's more concentration. The lighter colors is where there's less. So there's really only, when you look at where there's thick sea ice, it's only in this area right here where you have thick sea ice. That's it. All right. So the rest is not thick. So this is very little sea ice. And this is what I mean. We keep getting closer and closer to that blue ocean event, and we are destined to have a blue ocean event. There is not a damn thing we're going to be able to do to stop it. And that's the scary thing. And when it happens, if you think all hell is breaking loose now, well, just wait. We're really screwed. We're really, really screwed. We can determine how much we're going to be screwed, but right now the effects have been put into motion here, and you can see some above normal departures there in the Arctic too as well from this as well. So this is a good site. It's nsidc.org. That is going to wrap up this weather update. Improving conditions tomorrow, especially by the afternoon, should be pretty nice, and get out there and enjoy that nice weather. Because it's going to be harder and harder to get nice weather as we deal more and more with the effects of the climate crisis. Thanks for watching.